I decided to choose TripAdvisor as my social network because I thought it was a great network that has been immensely successful over the years since its founding. So what is TripAdvisor? TripAdvisor is a travel site made up of reviews of restaurants, hotels, and attractions, and really gives the power to travelers to be able to share with each other pictures, their thoughts, reviews on any place they go all around the world. And so, where does TripAdvisor fit on the Gartner Hype Cycle? So, it was founded in 2000, which I was very surprised to know it has been around since that early. And it headed towards the slope of enlightenment due to their authentication technology. This is really where TripAdvisor gets its credibility. This authentication technology prides itself on being able to weed out trolls, people who are just posting offensive things, inappropriate things online, as well as people who are just trying to trash a business or bump up a business's, a restaurant's credibility, and not be authentic about it, just to be fake reviews. Acquiring tech companies as data analytics become standards. And so I think TripAdvisor has really embodied their ability to harness all this large quantity of data for their consumers and business owners. In fact, they just reached 500 million reviews. So they have a huge amount of data that they could sort of take and play with and really apply a lot of data analytics to be able to track people's travel, be able to see popular locations, being able to tell hotels and restaurants how to market to travelers. So there's a lot of potential with the data they have stored. Then we have the science of networks. So TripAdvisor, what it comes down to, is essentially a network of travelers relying on each other. Network nodes are the locations that all travelers can visit and review. So for example, TripAdvisor is basically the way you search on TripAdvisor is location-based. So say you're traveling down to Disney World for your vacation. You would search Orlando, and from there you would get all the reviews, restaurants, hotels, things to do in Orlando. And so this makes Orlando sort of the node in that network, and all the travelers going to Orlando sort of the connections to that node. So being able to use past reviews to recommend a restaurant or hotel to a user, or being able to even design a possible trip for a user. Artificial intelligence, because TripAdvisor has so much data with these reviews, they can take it and be able to train artificial intelligence really well to turn it into basically an online travel agency. And then after hearing from Bob Young and hearing him talk about Precision Hawk and in particular Red Hat, it really struck out to me the similarities between Red Hat and TripAdvisor. So both Red Hat and TripAdvisor have really made their money off of harnessing the content of their consumers. Red Hat through open source technology, TripAdvisor through the reviews on their site. And so both of them have sort of taken those reviews, and in the case of TripAdvisor with our authentication technology, sort of enhanced the reviews and made them more credible. Then we heard from Charlie Speed of Future Publishing, and so I actually saw a lot of similarities between TripAdvisor and Future Publishing in the video game industry in particular. Both traveling and video game industry are both very review-based industries. You don't go out and buy that $60 video game if you've seen online a bunch of reviews saying graphics are poor, it's a boring game, it's not exciting. So that's sort of where TripAdvisor and Future Publishing come in both industries and be able to look at it and say, we're going to provide the reviews, we're going to help the consumers sort of figure out the best place to spend their money. Location. So if you're on a trip and you're posting a review at every single place you go, anyone following your post could be able, anyone who knows your username and checking to see where you've posted could see where you are on the trip. And so this can be solved by posting reviews on a later date. This is a feature that TripAdvisor offers. So if you wanted to post a review a month later, you're able to do that. And what was interesting to me also is Tor can be used to post reviews. So if you really want to go through and post something on Tor to track your location there, You can, however, your username will still show up on the site, so there is still potential for being tracked online. And then we had talked about Jeff Bezos, and so as the owner of the Washington Post, it really made me think about how newspapers are sort of the reviewers of the past. They used to be the main source for restaurant and hotel critiques, and so TripAdvisor sort of gave their viewing power to consumers. And I thought this was a great thing that TripAdvisor does, because you go from listening to, sure, restaurant experts, however, you're not going to have the same taste as them, you're not going to have the same expectations of a restaurant as them. So you may very well love a restaurant that gets terrible reviews by a restaurant critic. However, TripAdvisor said it was a really great place for family and friends, and so you just went ahead and go with it. So I think that's really great that TripAdvisor does that. Leaving Post. And so here we see some trolls on TripAdvisor talking about their trip to North Korea, as North Korea kind of opened up a little more for hospitality, and so they can joke about no showers, no water, electricity most days, but who cares, you'll be out in a week if you behave yourself. So plenty of ways to troll, and these are just some that have sort of filtered through the authentication technology. There's no telling which ones did not actually make it through the authentication technology that TripAdvisor has. And then after reading more about Sherry Turkle and her opinions, and she was such a proponent of unplugging during conversation, and so TripAdvisor is something that keeps you on your phone during vacation. And so some people do try to sort of unplug on a trip. However, TripAdvisor keeps you plugged in by wanting you to look up that restaurant review of the place you're going that night, look up the review of the hotel you're going to. And so I'd be very interested to hear for her whether she thought it would increase or decrease relationship interaction during vacation amongst the people you're traveling with. Does it enhance the vacation because you find a great place that you all love and all of a sudden you're sitting around hanging out and having great conversation, or does it decrease that ability? So it'd be very interesting to hear from her. Immediate thoughts that I had when I think about TripAdvisor is the automation of travel agents. So you no longer need their travel recommendations anymore. It used to be that you would talk to your friends, family, you'd have to go to a travel agency to find a great place in a destination you've never been before. Find a great hotel, find a great restaurant. And so now you really rely on users who you believe have actually visited the destination, and that's sort of where the authentication technology for TripAdvisor gives them that credibility and their value as a business. So with the Googleization of everything, many TripAdvisor reviews are the first thing that pops up in Google searches. I would search for a hotel and restaurant on Google and be like, here's our TripAdvisor review would be the first thing that pops up. And so this can really negatively or positively affect businesses and their Google search results, because Google search really adds credibility to a business and really adds value to them. It also helps boost the TripAdvisor brand, because TripAdvisor pops up so frequently when you search hotels and restaurants and things like that. All of a sudden you click on their website, you're looking at, oh, I can book a hotel through TripAdvisor, I can book a flight, so it really helps them a lot as well. Similar to leaks in a way. So both are done in the interest of public good. Both can expose an establishment doing some sort of wrong, and must be done responsibly by leakers or reviewers. So I think all of that was very important, because a good review can save someone from spending a couple nights in a hotel with terrible bathrooms, didn't change the sheets, things like that. All very important for consumers to know before they spend the money on it. So reviews or this leaking of information about a establishment can really be done and for good. And then, of course, TripAdvisor has reached an internet fame similar to those of memes. So known all over the world by users and businesses alike. You'll see stickers in windows of restaurants and hotels all over the world saying we are TripAdvisor highly rated and recommended. And as you can see, here's a little meme in the corner. What are you doing to get more TripAdvisor reviews? Very important as a hotel or restaurant to be able to do that. Ability for TripAdvisor to use this to make more authentic reviews. You can use the effective computing to analyze facial reactions to different restaurants and hotels to really increase the credibility of those reviews. And then Kerry Washington really talked a lot about how much personal information do you want to share about your online when she was at the Blogger conference. And so that really made me thinking, how much personal information do you truly want to share about your vacation? I've seen reviews before where many people have shared very personal experiences of their trip on their reviews, to the point where I don't even know how much it was really a great review. It was just a little more talking about their vacation. So that's a little bit of a danger with trip. And so, with the Pew Reports, and Lee Rainey talked about this, Pew Reports really don't do market research for companies, and that's something they really want to avoid. And I feel like TripAdvisor kind of does the opposite. It basically is a volunteer survey for users to fill out after visiting a certain establishment. So TripAdvisor really tries to work with restaurants and hotels to help them boost their TripAdvisor presence, help them engage with their customers and sort of answer any questions or concerns a customer may have had about their time in that establishment. And so one Pew report that really caught my eye that was kind of spoke to the popularity of TripAdvisor, there was a report about the increase in virtual tours online. People really enjoyed going places online. And so TripAdvisor, with the addition of being able to see pictures of the places you visit online, people can really take those virtual tours through TripAdvisor.